Imagine this. You've been doing everything right in your training, but your body isn't cooperating. You've been working out for months, even years, and you're not seeing a difference. You're feeling a little lost. You're not getting the muscle gains, not feeling the increases in strength or in your energy or cardiovascular output. And it's not just because you're over 50. There are some things we can do here. I am closer to 59, 58. I can tell you now, I have more muscle strength, more muscle gain, and overall cardiovascular output that's over what I had when I was 55, 56, 57. And you can too. And that's why I'm here. I'm going to help get you unstuck if you've been plateauing and get you moving forward again. But before I do that, my name is Andrew Kolasko, and from here on out, I am your very own longevity coach for you men 50 plus. Every week, I am here to give you the insider info, the no BS on how to increase and enhance your future years, the modalities and protocols that really work for you men 50 plus. Increase your lean muscle mass, your overall strength, cardiovascular robustness, and your overall sense of well-being. So hit that subscribe button now if you're not already on there as being my subscriber, so that you're here every week. And leave a like. Let me know what you thought of this, because I want to hear from you. I want your feedback. Leave a comment on what you thought of the content, and as well, if you got any ideas for me for future videos, love to hear them. And let's get into it now. Hey, I get life, right? You're busy. You're so focused on getting to the gym. Maybe you get to the gym and then you feel like, hey, I don't really have a plan to be here, and I haven't been making any progress really. If you're in that 3 to 12 month range, then maybe you've gotten into the habit of getting to the gym, which is great. But you can often, after that new beginner phase, you can hit some plateaus, okay? We're gonna talk about how we can overcome those. I've got 4 major ways to do that. And keep in mind that a massive step forward is just becoming aware of some of the things that might be holding you back. Number 1, you've been picking up the same weights for months. I understand that increasing weights can be a little intimidating, but to see and feel results, we've got to be adding new stressors. It is important that we be moving those goalposts, shifting the goalposts on ourselves. So that can come about in your volume, the amount of sets and reps that you're doing, to the amount of weight that you're doing. Whatever you can do to calibrate more, do that. We have a tendency to kind of get stuck and be able to think, this is kind of the area we need to be in. But maybe imagine this. Okay, could you do 3 more reps? If someone was watching you and you had a coach there, could you do a few more and then do a few more? Or simply just do that same exercise but add weight to it. We can do different things to put more stressors on. We need those stressors. Don't forget about the recovery. We got to have the recovery, but we have to be doing something that's progression, okay? That is the name of the game, is progression. So make sure that you're having that and your plan is set long-term, okay? It's a building plan, building block. It's not just, hey, this is my program and I'm going to do this for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6, even a year, you could get stuck on the same one. No, it's got to be something that's building upon itself and moving you forward. And we talked about rest days in past videos. It's important to incorporate those so that we can get to those next levels methodically and patiently and intentionally. Number 2, everything is a circuit or a combo motion. You feel like you need to constantly be in motion. Okay, for beginners, we can get some cardio stimulus from doing fitness classes. You could be doing your Zumba or your booty boot class. You've seen them. They hold classes. They're good to follow, and they can get you at least to the gym. But in the long term, you're going to stop seeing results because recovery is important, and you need to be separating out your cardio days from your weight training days. Okay, not doing the same, both on the same day. We've covered research in past videos that show that you will not get as much results, not get as much muscle stimulus or growth if you are putting in too much intense cardio. And that intense cardio is going to mess things up as far as you getting the gains that you need, both with your weight training and with your cardio. Both are going to suffer if you try to do together. And then what did I mean by combo moves? Well, suppose you were doing a reverse lunge and you had a weight, so you could do the reverse lunge, right? And then at the end you did a shoulder press and you think, hey, I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. No, because with your leg movement, with that reverse lunge, you should be able to do a lot more weight than you can do with a shoulder press. So, it may seem like you're saving time and that you're kind of doing something funky here that's going to, be more Spartan warrior, more, MMA type of thing. It's not, okay? Keep your exercises focused on that body part that you want to work, okay? If it's back you're working, then make sure it is primarily focused on the back. Sure, there's going to be some bicep engagement. If you're doing chest, there's going to be some tricep engagement, but don't try to do these funky combo moves because you're going to end up getting less results. You get best results overall when you have specific focus on that muscle group and then keeping your cardio on a separate day. Number 3, aim for high quality protein sources in every meal that you have. It is essential for your repair, your recovery, and your overall muscle growth. Plus, in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, our ability to assimilate protein declines, okay? It's not as efficient as it was in your 20s, 30s, 40s. So that's another reason we got to make sure that we're having 1 gram per pound of target body weight every single day. And if you are adding those stressors, you increase the amount of reps to the weight, you're doing more cardio, more training time, don't be afraid to go up to 1.3 grams per pound of body weight. And never, good grief, do not go below 0.6 to 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight. That is a minimum amount, and you need to be going for higher than that, okay? The target needs to be higher. Why? Well, let's look at the data. There was a large human sample done, and they took 2 groups. One group had 30% protein intake, and the other group had 15% protein intake. They both had access to the same amount of food overall throughout the day. What the results found were kind of mind-boggling. That 30% protein intake group had a 13-pound body fat reduction, and the 15% group, they had 441 more calories per day over the 30% protein in group. So we're seeing a substantial difference when you're meeting a certain threshold of protein per day, how it's helping you overall with your body composition, with your appetite. And there's 2 main reasons for this. So one of the reasons for this is you have greater satiety in that you feel less hungry. Number 2, and this one's pretty important, right? It's very nuanced in that it's saying, the data is saying that you have a certain amount of protein, a certain threshold, and you hit it, and then your overall body is going to modulate the amount of calories, the amount of food that you take in to a better degree. So less consumption of protein is going to drive up appetite, and more protein is going to drive down appetite. So the timing is important too. The sooner in the day that you hit that threshold of your protein intake, so you want to be hitting it, maybe most of it, like 80, 90% of it by noon, and then you're able to have your body functioning in a way that it's saying, hey, I met my requirements, I'm good. And then it'll adjust for what you need for intake. And then you don't have your brain, your hypothalamus in your brain, and then your body saying, your liver saying, hey, we need more, because the protein intake is going to speak to your liver, it's going to speak to your hypothalamus and let you know, hey, we're okay. You don't have to keep feeding us. So this is opposite what we're hearing in society, right? It kind of flies in the face of, hey, just cut your calories and you will lose weight, you'll lose fat. Well, if we got our protein where it needs to be, then it's going to be easier for our bodies to get in the state where we're going to be able to lose fat, have the right amount of intake and calories that we need, because our body is going to more intuitively know what it is that we need. So if body composition is a concern, right, you're not seeing a difference in your body, then up your protein. You're going to increase your muscle size by make sure you're doing your training, because that's going to get you there. And also along with that, you're going to be able to get the pounds off, right? If you're needing to lose some weight, then having your protein up there is going to keep you from having maybe some of those carbs and sugars and fats later in the day, because your body will say, hey, we're good. You can be better able to calibrate your overall diet to what it needs to be by just making sure you're hitting that protein intake. Interesting, right? This is flying in the face of what society is telling us. Is basically just cut your calories and you'll lose fat. Well, opposite is get your protein and then your calories will take care of themselves. So your body, your brain is going to better know intuitively what it needs. So if you're getting that protein intake, at least, 2/3 of what you need by noon, then you're also going to be able, that last meal of the day and later in the day, not have those cravings for the fats and the sugars and the carbs. You're going to be better able to regulate what your body needs, because your body is going to feel satiated through the right amount of protein. And body composition, that's important to you. You feel like, it's not changing and you're not getting that fat off. Well, the right amount of protein is going to help get you there too. Make sure you got your training there, and then you're going to get that muscle development as well and lose the fat. And then you're going to see results that way. Protein, so essential. Number 4, as to why your training might be faltering. Are you overwhelmed or confused in that you get to the gym and you kind of don't know what to do, or you're saying, hey, this plan I've been working on, it's been stale. I need to revigorate it. So you got to have a progressive plan, okay? This is one of the other points that I made earlier on, and it's so important because you don't want to have to use your brain when you get to the gym, if that makes sense, okay? You still gotta be intentional and focused, but if you're thinking about, hey, should I do that machine? Should I do this exercise? No, you gotta have that all laid out and make it so that it is less obstacles to get your training done, to get your certain exercises done that you need to get the body development that you need. So make sure that when you're putting a plan together, you're looking at your overall body and you're saying, hey, what is the area that needs the most work, okay? Do I need to make sure I've got the right amount of cardio because I want to lose fat? Or, combination of both. I want to build muscle. I want to build a V-taper. So I'm going to focus more on back exercises and those muscles that are in that. Or if I want bigger shoulder caps, then focus on those delt exercises. You got to look at where you're going to get and where you want the results, and then put those into your plan and work steadily to it, and make sure it's a building block plan, that it's something that's improving and building upon itself so that you're getting that overall progression. Don't have analysis paralysis. Know what you're doing when you get to the gym so you can execute upon it, not have to have the willpower to overcome, but you've got a clear focus, a clear plan as to what you want to accomplish when you're there. Have a step-by-step plan to build muscle, build power, the endurance, the balance, the overall body composition that you want. I'm here. I'm a longevity coach. If you want to reach out to me, andrewkolasko.com, then we can chat about it and see if my coaching would be right for you. What's the lesson for all of us in this? Why do we feel like a fail is if we have that one bad training day? It's not, okay? Don't beat yourself up because why can't I do the weight that I did last week? Why can't I lift as much? Why don't I look as good in the mirror? First of all, don't panic. Second of all, keep your perspective. It is normal to have ups and downs, peaks and valleys. We all have our ups and downs. We all have our bad days and we have our good days. Now, most important thing is to stay consistent, okay? Stay in the game. Keep the long game in mind. Continue to make the necessary adjustments and keep going. Remember that progress that you may have felt a setback today is not going to tear from all the work that you've done. Keep on going. So if you're getting back to the gym, you're starting out again, you need some motivation to keep going, to keep on that straight and narrow. Remember something that Dr. Martin Luther King said? He said, we don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. And remember something this Andrew guy said, you get halfway up that staircase and you feel it isn't working out. Nothing wrong with backing off the staircase, getting to the bottom staircase, recalibrating, make sure you got a plan in place and that you're set to go, because then you take another step and another step and another step. Your consistency will trump quality and quantity every single time. So it's what you do over the weeks, what you do over the months, over the years, and at this age, over the decades, and celebrate those wins. See how you're progressing overall. You need to stick with it. You need to keep moving forward and keep your purpose, your North Star, why you're doing this, in the forefront. Again, be sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and leave a like as well. a comment. I really want to hear, what did you think of the material? Is there something you would like to add? Did you have any questions about it? Is there other topics you'd like me to touch on? Anything you give me feedback on, I read and respond to all comments. They mean so much to me. I appreciate the community that we're trying to put together here. I appreciate you and being on my channel. Let's work together to move that needle on our performance, our fitness, our health, our overall sense of well-being, and to have the greatest future that we can possibly have moving forward. Keep it locked here. Let's do this.